Yes, here we are with Jamie. Jamie, Happy New Year. Good to see you.
New Year.
Thank you very much. Should be a Happy New Year for Liverpool, shouldn't it? Miles out in front in the Premier League. But, and there's a big but. Now, Jamie, you've said consistently all this talk about contracts and a bid or an interest from Real Madrid for Trent must not derail Liverpool's title challenge. After you saw what happened yesterday, is it?
I don't think we can go that far just yet. I think Liverpool were not at the races. I think Manchester United performed a lot better than we saw them perform here on the Monday Night Football last week. And I think it was a little lesson for Liverpool not to get too, I wouldn't say carried away, but going into certain games feeling that the game was maybe won beforehand. And I'm not just aiming that at the players, actually. I think the supporters, the feeling going to the game as well, was this idea that it wasn't just about beating Manchester United, it was to beat them comprehensively. And that happened last year as well. And Liverpool drew that game 0-0. So I think it was a little lesson for maybe everybody involved with the club to think that, you know, there's no easy games in this Premier League. And even though Liverpool have a decent lead at this moment and the game in hand, there's still an awful long way to go and there'll be a lot of ups and downs. I'm
interested in this distraction, though. About 1 o'clock today, Mo Salah posted on his Instagram a picture of him, Trent Alexander-Arnold and Virgil van Dijk. No caption. What's going on?
Oh, I don't know. You know what I would say? I would say Virgil van Dijk has come out of this whole sort of situation this season as the captain of the club in a higher esteem for me. The way he's conducted himself, the way his performances on the pitch, the way he's led the team, the way he was yesterday as well. And he hasn't got involved in too much around this. It's obviously a really important time for all three players. We know that. But I think rather than speak about Trent Alexander-Arnold or Mo Salah, I'd probably like to pay tribute to Virgil van Dijk. I think he's come across as a real statesman. I think the way he's handled it, he's been asked questions, he's knocked it away, he's here to win the league, he wants to do his utmost for Liverpool, and fingers crossed he signs. But yeah, I think the other two could maybe look at Virgil van Dijk and take a leaf out of his book.
I hear you. I just want to ask one more on Trent, if I may. Do you see any circumstances at all under which Liverpool could sell him this month?
No. I don't see that, no matter what the figure was from Real Madrid, and I really believe that, because the most important thing, as I keep saying, is Liverpool win the league. And I think if Liverpool were to lose Trent Alexander-Arnold right now, I think that would give them a major problem in terms of winning the Premier League title. He's a fantastic player. He had a really poor game yesterday, we know that, but in the main, he's been an absolute superstar for Liverpool. He's a huge sort of goal threat for us in terms of what he creates for the team, but he just had a poor day with the ball and without the ball. But no, I don't envisage any situation or any money involved where, you know, Liverpool would sanction that deal. Winning the Premier League is the absolute utmost for the club this season.
Let's talk Manchester United then. Perhaps they surprised us all yesterday. But afterwards, Ruben Amorim certainly surprised me because he wasn't happy. And he said, everyone at the club is too comfortable. How does he change that?
I think probably with interviews like that, where maybe the players are coming in after the game expecting a pat on the back, and he's saying, you know, this is the standard that we want week in, week out. But I thought it was a big day for the manager. Let's not forget, he's gone to Manchester City and won. He's gone to Anfield now and got a point. So 4 points out of 6 against your two biggest rivals away from home is a decent return. We know it hasn't been a great start for him, but I would like to sort of focus, certainly tonight on the show, on his system, how he went about doing it, rather than giving the praise to the players too much, because the players have been awful, if we're being totally honest, for the last 18 months with two different managers playing two completely different systems. So this has gone on for a long time. A lot of these players have been involved at Man United where, you know, the results have been nowhere near good enough, and we still are, I think, 13th in the Premier League. But for me, I'd like to sort of have a good look at sort of, you know, the system's been questioned a lot by a lot of people in my role. I don't think the manager can veer too far away from that. That's his thing. That's what he does. He's never played another system, so he's going to stick with that, and he's just got to make that system better. And it was a lot better yesterday, as he told us it would be, on the back of having more training sessions.
Bruno Fernandes said, why can't we play like this every week? Was that the best you've seen him play this season? Yes,
it was. I thought he was outstanding. He was disciplined. He knew he had a role within the team. He played that perfectly well. He was brilliant, certainly for the first goal in setting Martinez up for that. And we question Fernandes not about his ability. I would say at times is he a leader for Manchester United in terms, you know, he captains the club. So That was a captain's performance. That's the best thing I can say about that from him yesterday.
OK. When we come back, we're going to talk Arsenal. Do they have enough in their armoury to actually go on and win the Premier League? And Manchester City, have we written them off too early? Let's talk Arsenal now, Jamie. They laboured to a draw at the weekend with Brighton. Have they got a deep enough squad to actually go on and win the Premier League?
I think they've got a deep enough squad in terms of numbers. Whether they've got the quality to win your Premier League in certain areas, I'm not so sure. I'm still a little bit wary of sort of saying this is a team who I see going on to win the title. I've never said that about this Arsenal team, and I love them. I think they're a brilliant team. I love how strong they are defensively, how powerful they are, how they press, the energy they show as well. But I've always felt they were an attacker short of a world-class level, and not necessarily a centre-forward. I do think they can do probably better than what they've got on that left-hand side. I know Martinelli plays there, he's a good player. Trossard does a good job as well, but I think they're attacking players short. Arsenal
didn't win at the weekend. Liverpool didn't win. Chelsea didn't win. The champions Manchester City did. Only 12 points off. Given we're in a window and there could be reinforcements on the way, have we all written them off too soon?
No, I don't think so. I don't envisage them being involved in the title race. I still think that there's problems that Pep Guardiola can't fix. I think even if you look at the Leicester and the West Ham games, even though they won, the opposition still had huge chances, and that's not Manchester City. We always associate Pep Guardiola's teams with great football and scoring goals, and rightly so. But more often than not, they're the best team defensively in the Premier League as well, and that's still a long way off. And I think if they continue playing how they're playing, even in the 2 victories that they've had, they will still lose more points.
Yeah. Let's talk Spurs. They lost again at the weekend. Now, Ange Postecoglou has made great play of the fact that in his second season, he wins something. Has he got to win a cup this season?
No, I don't think he has to in terms of keeping his job, but I do think there has to be a big improvement between now and the end of the season. That's obvious. I think he has been hampered by injuries, and you have to make that point because they've been decimated, really. I mean, the one criticism from himself has been the fact that even with those injuries, he's continued to play the same way and maybe not try to protect maybe younger players within the team. But, you know, that's how he sees the game. But I think we can judge him properly when he's got his 2 centre-backs back. You know, you think of sort of Van de Ven and Romero. They're a big miss, especially Van de Ven, with the way that Tottenham like to play and set up. He's probably the most important player for them in a lot of ways. So no, I don't think there should be a situation where that manager loses his job at any stage this season. I think you'd assess that at the end of the season. And if they have a really good end to the season, again, I think you'd be looking to sort of keep with him. I do believe that. And as I said, I think we should judge him properly when he's got everybody fit.
Fair enough. Monday Night Football tonight, Wolves-Nottingham Forest. The last time Forest turned the year in the top 4, their manager was someone called Brian Clough.
Ooh.
So do you see them beating a side that's only out of the drop zone on goal difference tonight?
I think you'd have to make them slight favourites when you look at the league table, more than slight favourites. But I think the fact that Wolves' new manager's come in and has done really well. Had a lot of really good results, and you know they're at home under the lights. I think there'll be a real excitement, you know, going into the ground. Something new manager. We had Gary O'Neill on this show last season. He did a brilliant job at Wolves, but sadly lost his job because of results this season. But they've got that vibrancy back, the energy within the stadium, and I think they'll think they can give Nottingham Forest a really tough game. But they've got to be careful on the counter-attack because Nottingham Forest have 3 or 4 outstanding players.
Yeah, brilliant forward players. All right, looking forward to that. What else is on the show, Jamie?
We're going to look at the 2 teams, delve a little bit deeper into the 2 of them. We're going to have a look at Everton. We haven't really had a good look at Everton this season. They're really struggling at the moment to score goals. So we're going to look at sort of some of the numbers behind that and maybe a few clips of why they're struggling to score goals. Always reliant on set pieces. That hasn't quite happened for them this season, and they struggle to score goals in open play. And you know whether that's down to how Sean Dyche sets his team up or the quality of play that they've got. We'll analyse that, and then we'll look at the big game against Liverpool, Manchester United, mainly from a Manchester United point of view, because they were the ones who I think came out of it the happier and put in a really good display that no one was expecting, and probably throw in the Arsenal goals and decide whether it was a penalty or not for Brighton.
Good luck with that, Jamie. Brilliant. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Mike.
Monday Night Football coming up a bit later. Thanks, Jamie.
Thank you.